So, as somebody who started a lot of businesses in the past from ages 15 to 17, I'm always getting questions from people like my age who are asking, what do I do? What should I start? Where do I begin? And in this video, I'm going to break down pretty much all the advice that I could give to someone stuck in that situation and where I'd go from your shoes. And for all the people who don't know who I am, to give a little bit of credibility as to I know what the fuck I'm talking about, here's a little bit of my backstory. Whenever I was 15, I left, or not left, I went online, pretty much dropped out of high school my late sophomore year. I worked construction for 9 months. Up until one point, I got way too tired of that shit, and then I started actually doing digital marketing for construction companies and other home service companies. And I scaled that to about 5 figures in profit within the last few months of the business. After that, I used my digital marketing skills to start building e-com stores. Skilled one e-com store to 5 figures in profit. And after that, during that, I started my own pool construction company working under someone else's license. And just recently landed my first client, which put me for 5 figures in that company as well. So that's a little bit of my backstory. So I kind of know what I'm talking about. I think for 17 years old, I'm doing pretty fine. So let's get on with the advice. Okay, so first and foremost, I think the biggest piece of advice that I could give to literally anyone trying to start a business nowadays is tap into unfair advantages. What does this look like exactly? Because I get a lot of questions where, what does that mean exactly? Because I tell this to literally everyone who wants to start their own business. Look at your network. And when I say your network, I don't mean just people you know. I mean friends, family, acquaintances, pretty much anybody that could come up in your mind. Look at what they do. Look at how you can break into a market in which they're working in, or, figure out a way in which you can assist or solve a problem in the people who you know and what they're working in. Now, what does this look like exactly? Or who could you look at? You could look at your parents. Your parents. You could look at your parents' friends. You could look at your friends. Your friends' parents. That's just to name a few. I'm sure you could ask ChatGPT to come up with a list who will name a lot more people who you can ask. And I'm sure if you ask all those people, which ChatGPT names, I'm going to do this actually. If you ask all those people, I'm sure you'll find someone in your wide network in which you can, get into some sort of business with. So that's number one. Okay, so here's that list that ChatGPT made. Go through this whole list. I'm sure you can think of somebody in an industry in which you can break into or get into or fix a problem in. And here's the important part. Once you find that person, you have to find out what kind of value are you going to bring to them. In my case, my dad has a construction company, and he also has a network of people in construction because construction companies are always outsourcing to each other. So what did I do? After I learned marketing, after I learned how to do SEO, after I learned how to build websites, I tapped into my dad's network. I found people in his network in which I could solve a problem for, in which I could deliver real value. And I helped them get more clients, which helped them make a shitload of money. And guess what? I took a cut of that money. So that's one example of something you can do. Always tap into unfair advantages. And unfair advantages doesn't just mean network. An unfair advantage could also be something like a passion, something you already have experience in, something you would like to work in. Because if you're doing something you like to work in, it's going to feel less like work, which is going to put less mental strain on yourself, which is going to in turn let you produce more. So really think deep. Think to yourself, what are some good unfair advantages that I can take advantage of to break into a market, to start something in which can lead to me having a higher point of leverage than the average person. Okay, now tip number 2. This one's a little different. Working for someone is fine, but make sure it makes sense in the long run and you learn something from it. Let me ask you guys a question. Would you rather work a job where you learn butt fuck nothing, but you get paid 25 an hour? Or would you rather work a job where you learn a skill, say a sales job, but you're averaging out, $20 an hour? Most people would probably pick the $25 an hour because it's better in the short term. You get an extra 5 an hour, woohoo, big fucking deal. But guess what? The other guy is learning sales, and after that, he's going to be able to implement that skill set into another business in which he's going to start in the future, while you're going to be stuck making whatever much you're making a fucking hour. So, working for someone is a good idea, if they're teaching you something, if it makes sense in the long term, if you're developing a new skill. So, if you can find someone to pay you and teach you, that's going to be a million times better than finding someone that can just pay you. Okay, number 3 now. And this is actually one of my favorite quotes. I don't know who said it, but someone said it. I don't even know where the thing just went. Anyways, being successful requires luck, but luck comes when why can't I just okay luck comes when discipline meets opportunity. If you show up every day for 3 years doing what you're supposed to do, putting in the hours, eventually you're going to meet someone, or you're going to find an opportunity, or you're going to you're going to get lucky. And the truth is, most rich people are pretty lucky. Most rich people, got into somewhere where most people can't. That's how they made their wealth or their money. So it is going to require luck. But luck will come to everyone who has the discipline to show up every day. It's impossible you don't get lucky if you're showing up every day for hours on hours on hours. You're going to find someone, you're going to meet someone eventually, which is going to teach you something, which is going to, it's all going to work out. That's the point. It's all going to work out, and it always does, as long as you're putting in the hours daily, on a daily basis, putting in the work. I promise you, it will come eventually. Number 4, this one's pretty straightforward. Tap into exploding markets / trends. What are these? Honestly, I have zero clue. Let me chat GPT it real quick. Okay, there. I just asked ChatGPT. I should also make another point of these to explain to people how useful ChatGPT is. Literally, ChatGPT everything. But anyways, that's not the point. Here's top 10 exploding markets in 2026 according to ChatGPT. I'm sure you guys can figure out a way to break into at least one of these right here on the screen. There's no possible way you can't find out how to start something related to this. And if you're saying you can't, you're just lying to yourself and you're undisciplined. It's that easy. Which actually brings me up to my other point. Just start. Start something. I just gave you guys the whole blueprint in this video. Tap into unfair advantages. Look at exploding markets here. We got 10 right here. Look into these. Which one of these will resonate with you the most? Look into that. Look into how you can get an unfair advantage start in it. Look into how you can get a high leverage point. And just start. Take action. Watch a YouTube video. Have a conversation with ChatGPT. Do something. Just take the action. Get a notebook and a pen and start writing down. And do whatever you can possibly do to just start and work on it for hours a day. And I guarantee you, within 3 years, if you do that, you will make money eventually. That's just how the universe works. God will reward you. But yeah, that's 5 tips that I can give. Hope you guys like the video, and I hope this helps someone out.